the lineup is all Latino and me. And there's that second where you're like, does the booker think I'm Latino? You know, like I just have that second where I'm like, I don't know if you know that I'm not, and like it's not for me it's not a problem, but I'm like, is that a problem if I'm not, right? Because the host comes up and he's like, how do am I saying your name right? Erika Spera, and I'm just like, yeah, sure, you know, yeah, sure, buddy. Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Stand Up Gals. I am your co-host, Erika Spera.
And I am the other co-host, Teresa DeGatano. Hi, everyone.
What up, what up? We are back to our virtual selves. I'm back in LA. T is back in New York.
Reporting live from her wobbly table. I have a new table that I bought off Amazon.
Oh, okay. Upgrade.
I don't know how it's going to be. I have a guy friend coming to help me this weekend. I threw it out there. So we'll see. I don't know if even the table's going to fit, but I'll keep you updated on the next podcast about how the table's going. So
okay,
we're going to table it for now.
I was gonna say a new Tales from the Tables. You actually, you officially have a computer, a table. You're like, oh, you're getting a dose of the work from home life a little bit.
We're back from Banff, Erika.
Back from Banff, fresh off Banff. Highly recommend. Beautiful place. So, I guess if anyone would be interested in going, send us a DM because we're gonna start hosting some trips, and it's a lovely place to be. Now I know the lay of the land. I went once in the winter, once in the spring. It is a nice little like long weekend getaway, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Nice place to go for a few days. So if you're interested, I might be planning another kind of group trip to go. Let me know. Send me a DM.
Yeah.
Might be a destination in the future.
Yes. It was funny. One of my friend's husbands, he goes, I'm not used to winter vacation tea. Like I'm not used to a mountain tea, tea meaning me. That I'm used to more. Yeah. But of course there was a bathing suit photo. So all is good. It was funny. People asked me, like my customers at work, they're like, how was it? It looked beautiful. I was like, it was great. Like I didn't have too much to like say, they were surprised. They were like, I didn't realize you were that big of a hiker. I was like, oh, I'm not. And so
I'm not either. And I still don't.
And I did, and I liked our walks, and I didn't do the Banff gondola. That was a big thing. My friend Lisa, shout out Lisa, I shout her out a lot on the pod. She sends me texts about the episode, which is very sweet. And then I send them to you too, Erika. But she was funny. It's a one thing, like if you had kids, like this is a thought. Parents, like you have to be strong for your children. So like if your kids wanted to go, you can't bitch out and be like, nope, not doing it. The whole family's scared of heights now. We're not doing it. Like she's like, I think I could do it. And so, yeah, I'm glad. I'm very content with my decision. I didn't have any FOMO. None, actually. Negative FOMO on that one. That was great.
It is beautiful though. And I didn't realize once you get up there are these like it's a long kind of path you can walk that have like little stairs, and it's mapped out in like different spots. You could see all the views of the mountains from up top. So it is actually worth it to go up there and do this walk and kind of see all the views. So even if you don't go up there to like dine at one of the restaurants, it is very nice to go up there and see anybody debating going. It is very beautiful to go up and see.
And I need I need Meg Murphy's, I need her videos from there. I don't think she added them to the group. Because you do the Google photo drop. And yeah, because I need to see those. I do want to see those and see how it looked. Because all your group photos look stunning. Like those are photo.
Yeah, photos. She joined the group album late. The Apple shared album or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to remind her because I think she has plenty of photos also of me and her. And I'm like, hey, add that in, Murph.
This is a funny thing about traveling when you're like, drop the photos. Who has the photos? Drop the photos, okay? Put them in the group album. You got to drop them, all right? Drop it like it's hot right after. And you were so funny with me in like Paris and Croatia because you're like, T, stop doing your posts, okay? I've got better photos than you.
Yeah, you didn't know where to go. I was like, they're in the shared album. I put them in the shared album.
You're like, I haven't dropped the photos yet. All right, wait till mine's better. My picture's better. Your busted up camera. It was pretty funny. They were.
I was working my
But
ass off. I was being a great photographer, and then you'd be putting these blurry pictures up. It was infuriating. She
I'm
kept being
sorry, I
like,
got a
"Take
new
one of me,
camera though.
take one of me." I was like, "I'm taking them, and you're not using them." It's infuriating. Why am I
We
working
got
so
some
hard?
I know, we got some great ones of you, on
Thank you.
this trip on the rocks. Those were delightful. And it did just happen to be my birthday while we were there. I almost forgot I had one this year. Like, I mean, I just coming back, I was like, and it did happen to fall on the birthday. But
Hmm.
we were talking birthday thoughts before. Did my birthday post where I was just it was fun to be somewhere on the birthday. That makes it better. That makes it different. Like, I think that's the thing is I would be a little wah wah if I was just going to work like every other
Oh, yeah.
day. Yeah.
Hmm.
So this was nice to have. Like, we did the spa day, which is something I love. And the dinner was great. And a hot tub did and great company. So it was a really nice birthday. So I did do some birthday thoughts traveling there, just journaling about life in my tomato journal that I have right here. And and then I journaled on the way back, but I was a little tipsy on that flight. So my writing is a little drunk. I have drunk writing on the journal. So, but just about like, life and whatever's supposed to happen happens. And, you got to be happy with where you are. And, since I'm one of those gals who's, not married, no kids, and I'm okay with that right now. I mean, I'm all right with it. So it was just more about like acceptance, more like, hey, be happy with where you are. Those were my birthday thoughts. Like, a lot of some great things coming up. It's been, all things considering, a pretty good year. It's been a busy year. So,
Hmm.
mhm. Did you
Yeah.
have any follow up birthday thoughts for you, Erica? Now that I guess Taurus season is over, I saw a post that Geminis are coming in strong. Somebody was like,
Oh, is
it's
it?
Gemini season.
Oh, we're officially done. We're out. We're done. We're
I
kicked
think
to
we're
the
out
curb.
till next year. We're benched
No,
till next
sorry.
season.
Sorry,
Sparrow.
guys. Well, shout out to all the Tauruses. Hope we all had a great birthday.
I did. I
uh,
saw a girl whose birthday was, and then like she did it's Gemini season post, and I was like, oh, okay, well, get ready. I don't know even what Gemini season means. They turn, right? That means that they've got double sides.
yeah, it's supposed to mean like multiple personalities, I think. I don't know.
And
Or
they're
two faces,
proud of that.
actually. I have no idea. I don't know. I feel like the people I hear that really are like super into whatever shouting their signs are like Libras, Scorpios, Virgos, and
I feel like
like
Aries get
Aries.
excited
Yeah,
too.
Aries. That was my fourth one. Was
Yeah, I was
Aries.
like,
The rest of them I feel like are kind of quiet about it.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my take. Of the people super into astrology, those are the ones that speak to me that I feel like talk about it. Everybody else is quiet. I don't really feel like I hear the cancers of the world speaking out. So
They're too much in their head.
they're a
They're too.
quiet
Wait,
bunch.
I've dated some cancers. Cancer is June 22nd. Is that
There is
Cancer?
summer. That's all I know. I know there is summer
Oh
with
yeah,
the
that's
Leos and the something. They're apparently emotional people. Cancers.
yeah, that's my ex is a Cancer. And then the latest one I've been talking to is a July 1st. And I'm like, "Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah."
okay. Yeah, it's like I don't believe in astrology, and then I like looked it up, and I was like, oh, it turns out I've dated a lot of Libras, and I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm apparently supposed to be with a Scorpio or a
Wh-
Capricorn, I think.
When is Scorpio?
Great question. It's actually right after Libra, so it kept being like, "Oh, you're close, Erica. You keep being close." It's right. It's the season right after. But I don't.
I
I
get
don't really
meeting a lot of
subscribe.
Pisces. There I had 3 in a row that were Pisces and their birthdays were bam bam bam. It was like
Oh, that's funny.
6th, no, or 8th, 9th, 13th of March.
No.
And I was like, "All right, you water signs." Mm.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
did
I even
you
screw that up. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're a fire," and they're like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "All right, well, I don't know. I'm just get out of my way. I'm sick of you. I don't."
It's
The
okay.
point was, it
We
didn't
care,
work.
but yeah, it's not like I'm not gonna date someone because of their sign. I'm like, that's not gonna be a thing. Oh no, we're not those type of girls. Like, we're not like, oh, his sign, oh, be careful. Like, we're not, that's not us.
I know someone, and props to her that she's very open about this. That she was doing IVF and didn't want it implemented because it would then be a certain sign.
Oh.
That she was like, oh, no, we need to wait like another month because it would then be born this sign and I don't get along with those signs. And I was like, all right. Where my family, my aunt was mad she wasn't getting pregnant because she wanted her maternity leave to fall on the summer. And I was
mean, I
like, see,
understand
that's
that.
smart. Yeah, that's smart. She was like, I don't want to be, I don't want to have this kid in the winter. She's like, no one's gonna come visit. Then I'm off work during the winter months. Who wants that? I want to be down the shore having a good time. Summer months.
Yes,
I was like,
aunt.
there you go. That's smart. That's smart. Also, you think being like 8 months pregnant in the hot sun in the summer,
Oh.
I would be annoyed. And what's funny is her daughters didn't know this, and I said it in front of them, and they were like, wait, what? And I said, yeah, you're born May, your sister's born July. I was like, your mom planned that. She was like, I want those 3 months off summertime. Brilliant. Brilliant thinking.
It is. I wouldn't want to be pregnant in summer. Like, no way. Even
Yeah.
I had to get, this is not the same, but I had to get like this thing removed a couple of years ago on my neck, and I had one in my inner thigh. It wasn't cancer or anything. It's like what's it called? I forget the name, but it was
Skin
like I had
tag?
to, no, but it was big. It was like they
Oh.
had to go in, and it was like a lump on my skin where they had to remove it. And but it'd been there and it had been growing, and it was like, okay, let's get this out. And so I got it done like at the end of like July, like 2 years ago. And I was like, that was stupid. This is a winter surgery. Should have been done so I could just lay in bed and recover because it was nice out. I tried to take my chair down, and then I was wobbling because the inner leg one, like I couldn't, like I was walking like a duck because I had stitches, and I was like, you can't lift anything. I was like, this isn't fun. You can't get sand in it. I was like, this is a dark at 4:24 p.m. type of surgery that you can just lay in bed and watch movies. I was like, that's what
you can't get it wet either. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is not, I can't be lying on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter
this is
surgery,
not
for sure.
I was like, that was stupid, T. Why'd you get that done now? You should have just held on for a little bit. You've already had it for how many years? Just hold on.
Wait a few more months, for sure.
So did you have any thoughts or anything from finishing your birthday and the trip?
I mean, I was definitely happy I had something like to look forward to. Same idea. It's nice to have a little like, what are we doing kind of thing. It was nice being back in New York, seeing some friends, seeing some people. Yeah, for me, it is more the anticipation of like the birthday approaching, and then it gets there, and there's kind of a sense of relief that you're like, okay, it's here. It's here.
Mhm.
We're here. We're the year older. Yeah, I mean, my main struggle has been trying to be like, am I making the right choices? Is always what I like kind of question, where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Have I done the right thing the past year, couple years? So I, have decided to be like, okay, I'm in LA. We're gonna do LA for a few more months and like really do it, really push it, and kind of see where that gets us, and how do we feel from there. So, and I think kind of accepting that, because kind of the hemming and hawing is what drives you crazy, where you're like, let's just make a decision and be like, let's do this.
Mhm.
Let's do this. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, that's kind of, it's almost like I'm just going to choose to not be stressed about it. Like, what's a
Good.
few more months going to do? I don't think that's going to like ruin anything. But what's hard is like I just got an email about some gig in New York City that somebody thought of before, and not like a crazy huge gig. But what's funny is it actually falls during the Ireland trip. So I was like, well, not only am I not in New York for the gig, but even if I was, I would be in Ireland anyway for this trip. So it's like, well, I wouldn't be able to do it, not because I don't live in New York, but also because I'd be away on this trip anyway. But it's moments like those that I'm like, you feel a little like, someone thought of me for this. And it's that feeling that I'm like, ooh, I don't have that yet in LA, is like what it feels like sometimes. That those moments make me question the like, are you making the right decision? Then I'm like, no, you just have to put your head down and be a little bit more active on the scene and present in LA, because I've been so all over the place just with, traveling and back and forth and whatnot. So I'm a little like, all right, let me pound the pavement and kind of see what I can do.
Good.
So yeah,
Good.
kind of stressing. Yeah, it's just hard for me to not continually have this thought of like, Am I doing the right thing? Did I make the right decision? Is this good? Is this bad? But, like when I first moved here, I always was like, I could always go back at really any time.
Mhm.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I like it. I like it. It's a good decision. It's a once you I like the hemming and hawing on that one. I liked that reference that you used. Well, I've been hemming and hawing, and I was like, oh, that's a good, the back and forth. I don't know if this is part of our signs, Erica. I don't do very well in the gray area. So
Oh, I
it's
don't either.
good to make like a decision like, hey, I'm gonna do this for now. This is what I'm doing. I feel good about this, and I'm gonna ride this out for what it is, or give myself that time.
Well, I'm never the type to be that way. So that's why
To
it's
go. Mhm.
yeah. Or because the question I ask myself too is like, okay, if I was to move back to New York or, New Jersey for a while, stay with family while I figure that out, there is this question like, okay, so let's say you go back. Comedy wise, what am I doing and what am I focusing on? And that's my struggle where I'm like I said, I'm like, I don't know exactly what my goals would be,
Mhm.
in terms of like advancing and going farther. And that is the thing that I at least have here that I'm like, well, there are at least things I have here to obtain and to strive for. And that's the overall thing that's like more so bothering me of like, what am I doing? What am I focusing on? What am I striving for? And I don't know if people can relate to that, like no matter like what you are doing in life, but there kind of is that thing that you keep being like, yeah, what are my goals? What are my like next ambitions? Like
Mhm.
that's where I kind of feel bothered where you're like, yeah, what is the thing to strive for? And that's the thing in our industry that like is constantly changing, where it feels like, okay, it used to be, Comedy Central used to do like the half hour specials. And
Mhm.
doing those and getting one of those really could propel your career and move your career to the next thing. And suddenly getting those really didn't mean much, didn't really get you anything, wasn't much money, wasn't much whatever. That like we saw people getting those and it was like, oh yeah, this isn't doing anything anymore. Or like the JFL Just for Laughs festival used to be a big thing. Then it went under. Now it's back. But now, like, and so like I applied to it again. And then, the chatter of the industry is like, does that really do much for people anymore? Yes, no. Now it's Netflix is a joke festival. But then even that, people are like, does that really do anything? Yes,
Mhm.
no, maybe. Like, there's so many things that when I've talked to comedians that are doing really well or I think are doing really well, and then they reveal to me, like, no, I'm still struggling too. And the consensus that everyone is saying is basically we used to kind of have a blueprint of like, get this thing. That's a big accomplishment. It can lead to this. Get this other thing. Like, there used to be these mile markers and milestones.
Mhm.
And now people are like, yeah, you could get those milestones. It means something in terms of it's a resume marker and you get to say I have this credit, but turns out it kind of doesn't matter in a bigger sense of the word. That they're like, yeah, a lot of really successful comedians right now have gotten none of those things.
Mhm.
And it really more is like, are people just going to come see you?
Yep. That's honestly what kind of my birthday thing was about, was just being happy with kind of where you are or just like what it is, because it was also don't have any goals. But because that's the hard part of comedy is just like any other job, and I know we've talked about this before, but like you're a lawyer, you go in here, you start here, you move your way up the company. Um there did used to be like a blueprint. Like back in the day, you'd hang out at clubs and they would put you up eventually. And then a lot of comics got their own sitcoms. That was something that, happened. And that was very frequent that you saw with like, Ellen had her own sitcom, like Everyone Loves Raymond,
Hmm.
obviously Seinfeld, like all those things. It's not that anymore. And I do want you to give yourself credit because you are passed at the Cellar. And when you are here in New York, you are booked and you do get spots. And so not only are you passed, but you're getting spots at the places that are the great clubs, like the
No thanks.
the big clubs that you want to be at. So I think for a lot of us, like, oh my gosh, I want to be passed at the Cellar. But then see, there's never a there because then you might get passed, but you don't get spots. And then you're like in your head about being there. Like there's a whole lot of,
Oh, there's a
there's a
million
whole,
things. Hmm.
yes. that go into it. And just because someone is passed at such and such place doesn't mean they're not going to be on your bar show in Brooklyn. I mean, just because they have a
Uh-huh.
special doesn't mean they're not going to be exactly on that same bar show again or on another show and that's just kind of the way it works, honestly, right now, is there's no there. You can get a lot of followers and you never know what's going to hit. That's the thing, too. I edited a video this morning. That was the Bobby Knight video, a different one, but I was talking about that. And I was like, this is a fun take on it. I'll post this up. I've posted a few bits about the hot coaches, but I was like, I'll put this one up. This is kind of fun. And, but you just never know what's going to hit. And then you see people and you're like, oh, that video hit. Wow. Like I loved your gorilla video that you
Oh,
posted. I
thanks.
thought it looked great. I thought it was, I don't know where it is right now with your numbers on how it did. How is it doing?
It did well. It hit a lot of views. I think it hit 300K.
Nice.
It hit well. Yeah, it hit well. Where you're like, oh shit, and like that's a moment I'm like, oh yeah, I got to post more of these. And then
Mhm.
then you post a video where you're like, this did nothing. You're like, well, on to the next one. Like it is social media is this game that sometimes feels easy and sometimes feels like fucking impossible.
Mhm.
And it is just like you got to constantly put things up. But I was like, okay, it felt nice to get a little bit of a win. We were like, okay, shit, that got, I don't know, got people seeing it.
Yes.
Felt like a
And
right
it's a
place, right
great
time.
joke.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Thanks.
Yeah, it is. It's the gorilla joke with those of you we were talking about it on one of the other episodes where the 100 men, one gorilla,
Mm-hmm.
and Eric can go ahead tell it. I mean, if you want.
I mean, we don't have to retell it. Yeah, if you're listening to the
Retell it. It's
pod,
such a great
or
joke.
go
It's
check
such
out the
it
clip.
is.
Yeah,
Check out the clip, guys. Give it some more love. Check it out. And then people liked it. Like my sister was talking about it. She's like, I saw the clip that you posted of Erica. Then I went down in Erica rabbit hole. So
Oh, thanks.
she was looking at that. Angela was. So I was like, oh yeah, great clips. And then some of the stuff that hits, I'm surprised at the stuff that hits for people where I'm like, oh, that one hit. But also an inspiration from one of our guests, Charles McBee, and good friend of us, the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, and our friend personally. He just sold out like Zanies in Chicago. And
Yeah.
because he's gotten all this social media traction with his videos, a lot of them are about like things in the past, like his podcast is Are We Old? And and they're great. His videos are great. And so
Yeah.
he's built so much. I mean, I remember when he was at like 40,000. Now he's at 200,000 followers.
Exactly. No, it's a thing that it's what everyone's talking about right now in the comedy world is how do you build followers? Is it stand-up clips? Is it doing clips of something else being funny? And it's a constant game. And that's what I've been talking to some friends about this week. And it's all like you got to just be putting stuff up. You got to put more stuff up. And so that's something that I got to do more of. So I was like, all right, finally, I put one clip up. I got to put more up. But that's something that's in the New York category. That I'm like, I'm not somebody that has been getting a lot of spots when I come back and when I'm around. So like I had one spot at the Cellar when I was back for, whatever, 10 days, 12 days. Fine, I'll take it. So I was like, oh, I was happy to have a new joke. Then I'm like, let me get this on tape. Let me tape it, put it out there. I did. And it did well. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because I only had one shot at getting something on, a good quality tape there. Grateful for that. But that is like a currency in comedy now. That's like if you get to do shows at a place that, has an audience, you get some quality tapes. Like you work West Side, so you're getting some quality tapes there. Great. And it is a currency in a way that I'm like, oh, is that a currency that's so worth it that would be worth living back there? Because that's something I was talking about with comedians last night on this show I did about like getting past at, the Comedy Cellar here. One of the places that is that here is the Comedy Store. And they're like, okay, yeah, you get past there. And then, if you're only getting like a spot here and there, then people are kind of panicking like, okay, now what? Like I worked so hard. Now I get past here. Now I get one spot here and there. Now what? Now what does that mean? What da da da? And it's like, that's the frustrating thing about doing comedy is like, it almost feels like never enough. Like you finally get something you worked for, and either like you're not getting enough spots there, or it's always like, okay, I got this thing. You celebrate it for a second, and then it's what's the next thing? What's the next move? What's the that it can feel very frustrating. Or I've been kind of busting my ass to try to get headlining work, and then you finally like hear back from somewhere, and it's not a lot of money that you're like, okay, once I buy the flight to get there,
Yep.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna be clearing not that much money that you're like, wow, this makes me feel like, is it even worth it to try to hustle to go headline and work these places? Or should I stay in one place, get a day job, and hustle the social media aspect? Is the debate I've been sitting in, where I'm like, is that actually more worth my time to do that?
Mm.
And do more like Charles. Be like, oh, what if I got my numbers up to closer to our friend Charles, and
Mhm.
then try to go and headline, where it's like, okay, now my numbers are higher. Maybe I can get more money. Maybe that's more worth my time. And that's the part that's hard. We were like, I don't know. I don't have the answers, and everyone I talk to is kind of shrugging, being like, I don't have the answers either.
Mhm.
And that's the part that weighs on me. That's hard. That I'm trying to figure out. Where I'm like, and that's where I get frustrated, where it's like, I don't know the right answer. Nobody knows the right answer. Everyone's just trying to hustle. And it
Everyone's
feels
in
like
yeah.
a failure sometimes to be like, ooh, do I go back to having a like full-time day job in a way? Because then you don't have the flexibility anymore to pick up gigs when or how you want to.
Mhm.
I don't know. Sorry, I cut off what you're saying.
No, it's a no, this is one of those battles where you're like, it's like a balance thing where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need to get numbers up. I gotta, dedicate time to social media and put stuff out there. But also then you're like, I gotta get the spots to get the
Mm-hmm.
tapes. And then
Yes.
you're like, especially like the seller they record it for you, right, on their
Yeah,
camera.
everything's recorded automatically.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
the clips are good. Like the recording is very solid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so then, yes, you want that stamp of, oh, this is a seller tape. This is a tape from the show at the cellar. Like I put my West Side things on there because it's a good tape. I
Mm-hmm.
recorded myself. I did a headlining set on Wednesday, 45 minutes in Point Pleasant, New Jersey at Uncle Vinny's. And I recorded myself. It doesn't look great. It just doesn't look, it looks,
Uh-huh.
it just I mean, I wanna put reels up from it because there's some funny ones to do, but it's not gonna be the best quality of reels to put out there, and, but it was a great show, and, like,
Right.
I think this is the, what else, or what did you say? Was it the what else or the what's next? What's next?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess for me, this is where it's a little humbling because I got a text on Monday of the show that was Wednesday from the booker. "Hey, we still good for Wednesday? You don't have any tickets sold." Yep, still good. See you Wednesday. Like,
Yep.
I don't know, and part of me is like, I mean, I'm not a draw. And then I saw another comic, New York comic, that was there the next day that did 2 shows.
Yep.
And the first one was sold out. And I was like, great. Okay. So the booker was like, I gave away a bunch of comps trying to fill the place. Gave away a bunch of comps. I was like, that's great. Okay. So like I went to the show. I actually wore this blouse and it did match the backdrop, which was
Also,
funny. And I
sorry
matched the
to clarify from people, comps means free. It means free tickets,
oh, free
and this is what
tickets.
comedy clubs do if you don't sell
Mhm.
across the country. Is like people on their email list and stuff. They'll be like, "You've won 2 free tickets to whatever, whatever." Because can I reveal something I do?
Mhm.
I don't know if this is petty or whatever, but I do this. Clubs I've worked and stuff. A lot of times I'm on their email and texting list. And this is partly to make myself feel better because I'm not a draw either in most places, right? I'm on those email lists and stuff because then I'll get the emails that'll be like, you got 2 free tickets. And I basically find out who's not drawing.
That's
That will
funny.
be comedians that like have bigger following numbers than me. And because we're all like promoting shows, this and that. Oh, I got this whole tour. And I'll be like, well, I guess so and so doesn't draw in Albany either. Like,
That is shade.
it's
Straight up shade, but I love it. It's like the finest of shade. You're like,
makes me feel better. I'm
you're
like, oh.
struggling too. I see it. Like, oh, they had to cancel a show. Nobody came out. I actually found out a comic that I had a crush on. One of his shows got canceled in Jersey. And I was like, oh, I don't feel bad then. Okay. Like so-and-so's show got canceled as well. That is really funny, Erica. That is
Sorry,
a
it
great
just-
confession.
Somebody that's like got 200,000 followers and is always like on social media. It just makes me feel better that I'm like, everybody's fucking struggling. You didn't sell tickets in Syracuse or fucking Albany or Buffalo or at
Or
Magoovies.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah,
You're struggling in Phoenix.
Like-
Just
Just and what's
Oh,
funny is my
man.
brother knows this, and one time he sent me a text because it was a comedian he knows I don't like and don't think is funny. He sent me a text being like, just want to let you know I just won 2 free tickets to so and so.
The whole
He's like,
family's in on it. The whole family.
just want to let you know so and so's not selling well in Rochester, New York. And I was like, thanks, Marcus. Thanks for letting me know.
Confidence booster. You're
Like,
gonna have to tell me after the pod who
look,
this was. I can't
look.
wait.
And someone might be listening being like, well, that's your karma, Erica. That's why you're not selling. And I'm like, fuck off. Okay, we're like,
No, it's-
comedians across the board are struggling. I know someone with a Netflix special that just came out. They have way more followers than me. And I actually appreciated that I saw them have an honest like tweet or a thread about, they were like, listen, they're like, I'm in like a creative like rut right now, trying to come up with new material. I need to be promoting this new tour. They're like, ticket sales for comedy is 20% down across the board. And they basically were like, I'm just gonna be honest right now. I'm fucking struggling. Everybody's struggling, like da da da. And I saw a bunch of comics like replying to that, being like, thank you. You put this in like the words that I couldn't say.
Whose post was that? I'm just curious. Was it
This feels like shade if I say it out loud, because I don't want to like knock her.
Rose?
It was
No.
Rosebud, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
her post. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I like that post. Rosebud Baker, she's great. She used to come to my open mic. I remember when she had 5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, but she's
great,
like, she
and
writes
she's
for SNL.
blown
She's got a
up.
ton of
Mhm.
followers. She's doing well. Like, from what I've seen, she's been consistently selling pretty well ticket wise. And I was like, well, this is kind of refreshing to see her post being like, my ticket sales are down and my agents are on my ass. I need to be promoting shit. And I'm just like, I'm fucking exhausted. I don't know
And
what they
she's a
want.
new mom. Mhm.
Yeah, like she's just like, I don't know, guys. I'm trying to scrape together a new hour, and I'm tired. I don't want to be posting all the time. And I'm like, thank you. Like, we're all fucking exhausted.
I really did appreciate that too. I saw it go by my threads, and then I went to look back for it because and then I couldn't. I don't know. I was like, oh, go back and look. Like I was doing something, and I appreciate that honesty because some of these people who come out, because I noticed that she was like whole new hour. I was like, where are you writing a whole new hour? You just gave birth. I mean, that was a whole thing. I think she did a whole special on giving birth, but I was like, wow, that's a lot. Like people don't realize how hard it is to format a joke and to make it work. Like when you're trying to get stage time, and
it's a ton of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all the songs in an album. They don't write all their own songs. Like, I mean, I know Taylor Swift does, but she's got other people helping out too. And she's in there and like, that's her full-time job. I mean, so they're not all going to be hits. I'm sorry. They're not all, on the album, there's songs people cheer louder for than others, but I still love Betty. That Betty song is great.
I feel bad I derailed your thing, but I did hear other comedians on a podcast talking about this that are like way bigger than us, like almost like a John Mulaney level. And they talked about comedians they don't like. They'll sometimes go to their website and check their tickets, and like they're in a theater and they're like, I will pull up the theater and see how many seats are left on their fucking show. So I'm like, I'm not the only psycho that fucking does this sometimes.
Oh man. Well, let me tell you. So we were writing to this show, me and Joanna Ross. Joanna featured. Joanna got a car, and so I love it. So I'm like, hey, Joanna, you want to go to this show? Like, here we go. And so I'm on the navigation. And when you're riding shotgun, you got to be on point on the navigation. I think I may have done the wrong turn once, but it gets very confusing on the Waze. And I didn't even know Waze was spelled W-A-Z-E because I never use it. I was like, is this Waz? And so stupid of me. But so we're doing the navigation and we're talking about everything that has nothing to do with our sets. Like we are all over the map talking as we do. And so then we focused beforehand. Before the show, there was like a juice coffee shop a couple doors down. And of course, it was rainy and like overcast. Every time I've been there, I've never actually gone to the beach in Point Pleasant because the weather's been awful.
Yeah, and so sorry about the timing.
No, it's fine. We get focused. We roll in there. I think there's going to be like 20 people there. It's 75% full. And I'm like, oh, okay. And her and I just looked at each other and we're like, oh shit. Oh, we got to go. We got game time. Okay. And so I had a lot of fun. That is probably the most confident I felt doing 45 minutes, where I wasn't searching for the light, but I knew it was coming up. And so that's a difference. Like the light, those of you listening, like when your time is wrapping up, and comics time themselves. I had one moment where I like snuck a peek at my watch. But I knew I was like, okay, I'm rounding a certain amount of time. And I didn't even do any of my bartending bits. I didn't do any of those. So I
Oh,
felt very
nice.
good about like the time I had, and certain jokes I was like, oh, that joke hit well. And they were so nice. Like everyone paid it. No one was a jerk. Like everyone paid attention. They were just, it was great. And then people wanted to take pictures with me afterwards.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I got a few people in the DMs like, hey, that was great. Like, and for a free ticket to show up to someone that you don't know and to, have a good time. And I look at everybody during the show. I'm
Mhm.
very, checking everybody out, seeing who's not laughing or, that gets in our head. But it was great. Joanna did great. The host, he was fantastic, Josh. And so then afterwards, I go to work the next morning. That's the
Mhm.
humbling part of all of that is like I roll into work. No one gives a flying fuck that I just did 45 minutes last night that people wanted to
Yep.
take a picture with me. It's like, hey, what do you want to drink? That's like the part of my life. That's the, and we're back, like to
Uh-huh.
that. And
It's very
so,
humbling. It's humbling.
yeah, it is. It is. It's
Mhm.
just, so, it's, I even told my boss, I was like, did 45 minutes last night. He's like, great.
Oh my god. I'll never forget, I think it was Megan Gailey, great comic, female comic.
hmm
When she did Conan, it was like she got, Just for Laughs Montreal. She was like about to have this kind of like blow up year. And I'll never forget her making a post that was like, did Conan this weekend, highlight of my career. 7 a.m. on the train to go back to my nanny shift Monday. Like,
Yep.
and it's just classic. That's just a classic kind of comedy tale where you're like, you get these
Mhm.
accomplishments, but it takes a long time before you're like, oh, this is like really paying my bills and my life.
Mhm.
That it's hard for it to not feel kind of frustrating where you're like, oh, I'm like right there. Especially when you're like, I'm headlining now. I have the skills. I can be a headliner. But then
Mhm.
it's like, but you kind of still can't because we had to comp the room. And you're like, yep, okay.
Yep, we had to comp the room. Yep, but
Yeah, we
nobody
had to
knows who
comp the
you are.
room.
We
So
comped the room, and I was like, "Well, that's great." But they got a show, and I was like, "Even if
yeah.
they were 10 people, they're still going to get a show, and we're going to have fun."
Mm-hmm.
And because that's the mindset that I'm into. I always thought in my head if I ever got to do a late night spot on a show, it would air, and I would be bartending, and I'd be like, "That's me on the
Yeah.
TV." Doing stand up. And did you want to close out the tab or keep it open? Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
the reality of what it is.
Well,
And
that's when I filmed my late night spot. I was working
mhm,
remotely the day before. I literally got let go from my day job. Like I had a meeting that morning and I got let go from my job. But the thing was, I was going to work that day. I was off the next day from my job. But like I literally was going to be working the next morning. I wasn't off. I didn't take off multiple days. It was like, okay, I'm taking off the day that I go film James
mhm.
Corden, and I was going to be logged on. So when I got let go, I was like, well, I guess I'll just enjoy the next couple days in LA. And when I get back to New York, I had to go in the office, clean out my desk, and hand over my laptop. Just like, okay, guys. Well, thanks for the job while I had it. Like, it was such a whirlwind. But if I didn't get let go, I would have continued working that job. I didn't have
Mhm.
enough of a reason to leave it
Why did they
where it
let you
was
go?
just layoffs, company layoffs. It
Because it's
was anticipating basically like the mini recession of tech that hit, you
that would
know?
be kind of funny if you were like, "Okay, thank you very much." Also, here's a link of the show I did last night. I was on
Yeah.
television, everybody. I was on television. Here you go.
Yeah. It literally was like, good luck at your taping tomorrow. And I was like, yep, like I can't care about this right now. I have to
Mhm.
go tape a big moment for me tomorrow. But also, I was the executive assistant to the CEO, so I knew I was getting laid off when I could not see his calendar meetings. Like I log on and I was like, oh, I can't see anything, and I see he has 8 meetings in a row. I was like, oh, this is the next round of layoffs, and I'm in it. So okay.
That is funny. I guess that's how you find out where you're like, I'm not able to access or log on. My key isn't working. Is there an issue happening? Be like, oh, you don't work here anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like from Office Space. Do you remember that movie from years ago? Where like they fired the guy, but he's still down in the basement. Like, excuse me, sir, do you have my stapler? Does anybody have my stapler? Can I get my
Yeah.
stapler? It's a great. They're like, didn't they fire him years ago? Yeah, no one really told him. He's
Yeah.
just down in the
He's just
office.
gone.
I did a show last night, Friday night at West Side. I hosted the 10 o'clock and the Knicks were playing. So I kept going upstairs and downstairs in between the game. And they were a really fun audience. Like it was a smaller crowd. It wasn't that big. It's Memorial Day weekend, Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
You have playoffs on, but they were great. And sometimes the smaller crowds are just better. Like they're
Yeah.
woo! Like they're excited to be there. I guess I did give some teacher energy. Some of the comics said because at the beginning, near the end of my set, these people were really talking loudly. Like I could hear
Oh.
talking, and I was like, "Hey guys, are you guys talking? I'm real. I'm a real person. Yeah, just gonna. Yeah, this is a show. I'm on stage." And so,
Yeah.
so
Are
they
you
were
guys okay?
one of the comics was like, you gave like very much like teacher mom energy, but they stopped talking because I was like, yeah, okay, well, good. That's what they should do. Like I don't mean to like scold them, but also like shh, like, but it was kind of funny because I did hit my head on the speaker.
Oh shit.
And off the stage. It's a very narrow. And
Mhm.
and then the Knicks lost, but it was a really fun show. And then this is also like a humbling, like interesting thing. There was a very good-looking couple. I don't think they were actually together, but sitting in the audience. And I talked to them briefly. He had like a sweatshirt on that said something on it, choose something, but they came over to talk after. He's like, "Oh, I have a podcast. I wrote a book." Very good looking couple, non-couple. And so I went to follow him on social media, and it's always very humbling when you see how many followers an audience member has. And I was like, "Oh, great guy. His name's Hakeem. 229,000 followers." And I
Whoa.
was like,
What's he do?
just inspirational stuff. Like wrote a book, has inspirational videos. Like I'm gonna do his podcast now in July.
Oh hell yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I'll go to work late for that. Like he is, yeah, very nice guy. Like has all these I know I gotta check out his videos more, but I was like, oh, that's funny. Like when the audience member has just like way more, yeah. I was like, oh damn, okay. You should be the one on stage. Jeez. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was impressive. So that happened to me too in Point Pleasant. The one guy posted a picture, Travis, nice guy. And I was like, oh, Travis has 7,000 followers. What do you do, Travis? Like, and here I am, just a little engine that could just like plugging
Yeah.
along with my 3,000 now. But yeah,
Damn.
it's
Getting
always
after
good.
it.
So, yeah, I have a show tonight on Long Island. How was your show? You did a show last night.
It was good. It was so it's at this El Salvadorian restaurant. I did it once before and it's called Pupusas in comedy. Which is like
Mm.
a El Salvadorian dish. It's almost like a Latino pancake in a way. Or almost maybe a twist on a quesadilla ish. It's like a stuffed kind of pancake situation. And they appreciated that I went up and I was like, well, I just learned what this is. Your Latino pancake. And they like died laughing. So I was like, I guess I nailed it. So what's interesting is like, you go to the show, you're like, everyone here is Latino. Some type of Latino. The lineup is all Latino and me. And there's that second where you're like, does the booker think I'm Latino? Like I just have that second where I'm like, I don't know if you know that I'm not. And like, it's not for me, it's not a problem, but I'm like, is that a problem if I'm not? Right? Because the host comes up and he's like, how do am I saying your name right? Erika Spera. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, buddy. And you're just like, do I just go up there and do my act?
No, they did the same thing to me. At that show, they were like, Teresa. It's Teresa's next. And I'm like, hi, I'm Teresa De Gaetano. Hello.
Like,
Erika Spera.
Yeah. Like this is literally the whole lineup. It's like Jimmy Velarde, it's like Justin Alexios, the like producer, Richard Valia, Walter Reyes. Like it's all this, and it's just like, so I understand how it's, JC Carayas that I know, Renee Alexander Rosa, Carmen Morales, Saul Triulo. It's just like these are the multiple show flyers and like everyone's fucking name is like So when they're like, Etta Gaspera, right? I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, put me in. You know. But, so,
Sorry.
and then,
I can't stop.
you know, so you're just like, did I just go up there and do my act, just not address race at all? Where it's almost like, I don't know, is that good, bad, whatever. And they appreciated my little riff, and then I even said something where I was like, yeah, I was like, this is El Salvadorian food. I was like, clap if you are El Salvadorian specifically. And I hit like 6 people clapped, and I was like, oh, nice. I was like, this is the first time I've met an El Salvadorian. Nice to meet you guys, and they like laughed. And then I said, I was like, I lived in New York City for many years. I was like, I met plenty of Latinos. I was like, there are, a lot of Mexicans in LA specifically. And I said, like, I went on a date with a guy who was like, I'm Mexican. I was born and raised in LA. Can you believe it? And I just was like, yeah. And they died laughing like, yeah, we know. Like, there's a lot of us here,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you just got to address it a little bit up top,
Yep.
and they like it, appreciate it. And it's like a comfort thing. And then I just did my act as is, and it went great. The show went
Yep.
great. And what's funny is this show, the second time I did it, this time, there actually was another white person on the show, like a really white looking guy, very white. I forget what his name was exactly. And then after the show, we were all hanging and talking to the producer, and the producer came over, and he was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, you guys are like some of the only white comics we ever really have had on this show. A lot of white comics do terribly in this room. And I said, do you think they just get nervous? Like, it's just they walk in, they're like, oh, it's all Latinos here. I don't think they're going to like me, da da da. And he said, well, it's often people start to change their material to try to play to the room. And it just makes it weird. And he's like, the room can just suss out when you're not being yourself. That it's like, no, don't try to like play to us. Just be whatever you are. And I said to him, like, yeah, I feel like I just always need to address that I'm not Latino because I think people think I am. So then if I'm not at all referencing anything Latino, they're almost like, why are you not saying or whatever? And the producer literally said to me, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I booked you, I thought you were Latino. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I assumed you thought. I've been booked on shows that were like all Indian lineups, and then they're like, this is an all Asian show, and I'm like, oh, am I allowed to be here? Like, I'm like, do I need to leave? I feel like dishonest if I don't tell people. And then they're like, oh,
Talk about don't tell comedy.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, do I just be quiet and like get this money and run and just don't say anything about race at all in the set? Or whatever. I don't know. But it is funny that you're like doing the show and every comic goes up there and they're like, I was beat as a kid. Who else? And the whole room's like clapping. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, there'll be certain like references. I'm just like, hi.
That is really when I did that show, and there's been a few times, but it was rainy that day. I wore my hair curly, which is different. And I was riding the coming back from the train station with Gediel, another comic. I was like, Gediel. I was just getting the name right. And then I was like, well, looks like when I got there, I was like, looks like I'm the only few white people here, like the only white girl on the show, and the only like, the audience was very much like he killed it at the beginning, and everyone was mostly kind of like a different race or mixed race. And so he was like, oh, I thought you were like from the entire time, like your hair. I thought you were Puerto Rican. I was like, oh, nope. And so it was just funny at the end when everyone came up and like gave their handles, and I was like, Instagram handles, and I was like, that's Teresa Degatano. That's TERES. Yeah. Like they were all laughing, but they were great.
Teresa,
Teresa. And I was
Teresa,
like, oh,
you could say that.
I mean, but then I was like, then I talk like this exactly. You're like, I'm Etta Gaspera. Hey guys, like. I was like, I go from being a Telemundo star to just like, hey, is that a Southern accent? What's that accent you have going on, Teresa? But oh, that's great. I knew you would kill it. That's why we were texting before, and I was like, oh, they're gonna love you. You're gonna kill it. So
well, that's it's similar to I've done a few times this show Chocolate Sundays here, and it's typically not typically. It always is like an all black lineup, and maybe they have one white person or one something that's not black, whatever. But I'll see people on that show because I sometimes go and just hang out because it's a very fun show. It's every Sunday. But you'll see comics go up that are white, and you'll see them change their energy to try to be like more high energy or more whatever, or all of a sudden be like using more slang, and you're like, oh, this isn't what you do normally.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you can feel it not be authentic.
It is true. Well, I'm glad you had a great show last night.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a fun crowd. It's also like an interesting little show, but it is those shows where people are like eating and it's like dinner and a show can be a little tough where you're like, are you here? You alive? What's going on?
Yeah, you're competing with an entree. And it's really hard when the food looks good. You're like, oh, I'm competing with food. Okay, this is who yep. Like last night I was competing with the Knicks. There was a hype man. He was cracking me up. And he was like, oh no. And he was like, the Knicks just lost. I was like, well, they lost 15 minutes ago, sir. But because he just looked at his his phone. And I was like, I didn't want to bring the mood down. But yeah. And so game tomorrow night, but I will be at the Beyonce concert. So I will have my updates for that next week. I have a hot pink tank top to wear, but it's going to be like 65 as a high. So I don't know. It's like we'll see. Memorial Day weekend here. I know this is going to be, we're recording this weekend and everything, but it's not like a beach weekend for anybody.
I know everyone in New York I see bummed. Even today, actually, it's a little gloomy here. So we're like, oh
well, I'm losing my color, Erica. Losing my color, but
you're fine. You're still very tan. We'll get it back. It's only May. So we got time. That was great, guys. I hope do you have any closing thoughts, Erica, for the No, I think I'm good. I mean, I was like we hit time. So I'll save everything for next week.
Okay. Well, that's Erica Spetta and and I'm Teresa. Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some confronts or punts next week. So email those in if you have any of those or any questions. We didn't get to those today, but we're gonna delve into those next week. So
2standupgals@gmail.com. Email us.
Yes.
And if you want to join the Patreon for extra episodes, patreon.com/2standupgals. And a preview is coming up next. So I'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye. Because I also did go on a date this past week.
Oh, listen, give me that. Talk to me about that because my dating is not worth discussing on this forum.
All right. Well, you have. Wait, real quick. It's Memorial Day. Did you hear from the firefighter on Memorial Day? Did you get a happy Memorial Day?
You're goddamn right, I did.
You did?
All weekend. All weekend. I will tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. Oh my God, he just texted me again.
Seriously?
Okay, he did text me again. Okay.
This is just so funny to me because I'm like, oh, this is going to be really ignorant. I'm sorry. I'm very drained from my socializing with people I don't know. Is Memorial Day, I thought we're supposed to be thanking like veterans, right? Or are we supposed to be thanking firefighters on this day?
No, that's 9/11. And he wrote today.
Sorry.
No, Memorial Day is
laughing at 9/11, but it's just
military.
Like, no. We thank them on 9/11. They don't get. Sorry.
So, but I did hear from him, which is funny. Yeah, and on the birthday. So heard from that one on the birthday. So.
Oh yeah. Well, we knew you got the birthday text, but I wanted to know. Did you get the happy Memorial Day?
I mean, it is funny. Hope you're having a great weekend.
Thank you for your service. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you for your service. Sorry. Although when I was dating him as a firefighter, anyone who was a firefighter, I was like, thank you for your service. I kept saying that. I was like, you got to pull it in, T. Stop thanking everybody. So,
listen, it is an opener. It is an opener if you see a hot fireman you want to talk to. Just give a thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. You look great in that uniform. So you had a date with a firefighter? Yes.
I had it. That's what made me think of it. No, yeah, I did. I went on a date with a firefighter. And here's the thing. Here's my overall synopsis of the date. It was one of those dates where you're like, people were like, how was it? And I was like, I don't know if I really feel a connection to this person or I just was attracted to them physically.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not been faced with that dilemma in quite a time.
Oh, what a time it was.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode and get extra episodes every week, join the Patreon, which is patreon.com/2standupgals. Or you can also now join from the Apple Podcast app, right from your phone. You'll also get ad-free episodes of the public podcast, in addition to the extra episodes every week. So to join, go to patreon.com/2standupgals.